Thank you for having me, Comrade Chris.
All right, wonderful. And also, we're being joined by the Honorable Vice President of the Interim Government of Ambazonia, the Reverend Engineer. Good to have you, sir. I think you are muted on your side.
Thank you, Comrade Chris. My
All
greetings
right.
to you, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to be here and to we can reach out to the people of Amazonia in a moments like this.
All right. Let's get into the issues. I would like your take on the general picture on the ground in La République du Cameroon. You have a situation here where 1992 doesn't seem to want to repeat. 2018 doesn't seem to want to repeat. It seems for once to have a candidate in that country who says, my victory or nothing. Give me my victory or I die. I'm referring to Isa Tchiroma, and he is being favored overwhelmingly by the majority out there. Do you see a change at last happening in that country, despite the fact that tomorrow, being Thursday, Biya may declare himself or his organization, Elekam and the Constitutional Council may declare him winner of the election?
Thank you, Comrade Chris. I think the it's very obvious. The reactions of the people out there shows that something is going on, or the people are tired and they're frustrated, and they're not going to sit down and fold their arms to be mocked or to be robbed and carry for the next 7 years without any sense of anything hopeful or to write home for. Um, they have gone through the experience of the past, and I think it's not just their motivation at the moment, but the campaign words of Issa Tchiroma, who spoke to them. And I've heard one thing repeatedly from him since these elections passed. He's telling the people that this is not about me, it's not about me or about my family or about anything, but about you. The results are yours, or the election or the winning is not about me or for me, but for you. And those, as you see there, I think if you were to collect the videos from all the national territory of La République du Cameroon, it could be very, very frightful to see what's happening. The minds of the people are kind of radicalized, not by Issa Chiruma, but because of the frustrations they've gone through. Whatever comes in the dawn of tomorrow from La République and the powers that be kept there by them, who are supposed to honor them and glorify them and do what they want. The truth is that the people's minds have been loosened. They have come to a point of say, oh, we are not going to sit down here and let things go the way they've been going. Whatever Pierre and his gang of those in place are going to declare that we want to contradict the will of the people. The people know their decisions, what they stood out for, and they are ready to stand in for. And I'm afraid that if Bia and his gang doesn't come to an understanding that it is time out for them and that they have to sign out, get out of the way, it is going to escalate to a point where they will regret, and even their children's children will regret. This is something very, very clear. Um, and I wait to see it come to pass if they remain foolish and recalcitrant to their wickedness and foolishness.
Sama Thomas, you seem always to speak like a historian. I mentioned here the case of 1992 and 2018, where first they denied the presidency to somebody hailing from the Anglophone regions, English speaking region. Then 2018, they denied it to somebody coming from the Bamleki cultural area, and this time is 2025. They are denying it to anybody from the north. They have essentially made the circle and come round and keeping it around where it has always been. Tell me what you make of that, sir, Sama?
Oh, well, before I come there, let me first of all re-echo something that Paul Biya said in 1991 when we were protesting in the southern Cameroons, calling for a sovereign national conference. Biya and his people, the Singang, the Fang Singang Bulu clan, held a rally in Ibolova, and they gave a spear, a knife, a gun to Biya. In Biya's speech on that day, he said, anybody that wants peace in Cameroon should prepare for war. So if you are in Cameroon and you want that peace, you want to remove Biya, and you fail to prepare for war, then you do not really want peace, because it is only war that will remove Biya from where he is seated. Let me go back to 1992. When La Republique or Paul Biya and his gang of thieves, who are good at stealing elections and rendering the entire nation bankrupt, stole Frunzi's victory in 1992, when we rose up in Bamenda, the very first thing the Bamenda man did was touch top CPD and people's property in Bamenda. What served most of them their heads is that they ran away. What am I trying to tell the people of La Republic now? Don't waste your time that you want to go and protest on the streets of Yaoundé or Bafoussam, Douala, and the Grand North. It's a waste of time. The very first thing you guys have to do is target where Elecam members and Elecam offices are. Is target all the so-called administrative units, the DOs and the governors. Once those units are brought down, the people manning those units, if you cannot reach them in their offices, or you cannot get the way to get their offices, you know where their houses are and their families. To start it all and to bring the system down is to target their families in the quarters and the persons that have frauded the elections in their houses. When 20 of them are touched, when all their properties in the quarters are touched, and everybody is running with his head skelter, you people have started to succeed. But thinking that you go on the street protesting while allowing these people to be living freely in the quarters with their property standing is just a waste of time. Secondly, Tchiroma and the people of La Republique must not allow Clement Atangana to proclaim the results. If they are serious enough that they want to take power in La Republique and chase out the junta, it is now, not tomorrow, that they will start to say, I have won, and I'm not going to wait for anybody to make a declaration of the results. For the results they've already given you a copy of that result which they will declare. There is nothing that's going to change in that bull crap, and you have your own result. So proclaim yourself and you take action to stop them from their own track from proclaiming anything on or whenever they want to proclaim it. Stop them not to do that proclamation. Give your own proclamation and make sure you stop them from doing any proclamation. Secondly, the military. Tchiroma should also take into consideration that the people that call themselves generals in La Republique Cameroon are not even the ones. If you are not from the Singam Fang society, who is a general, you are not a commander. You are subordinate. You are subordinate behind you. Even at times, like what happened in 1992 in Bamenda, around Frunzi's compound, the guy that was a colonel concluding the soldiers that surrounded this compound was not the person in communication with the hierarchy. The person in communication with the hierarchy was a 3V gendarme officer who is an Iton man and not the colonel that was there. So for Tchiroma to succeed to dismantle these guys, all gendarmes, any military officer, whether police, army, or gendarme of the Fang Xinjiang society, that is in the quarters elsewhere in La Republic of Cameroon, Douala, Bafoussam, and the Grand North. Anybody from the former Center South that is a military officer, take that person out. If you are serious, once this gang of persons are taken out or chased out, that is when you consolidate your victory. But thinking that you are waiting for Clement Atangana to proclaim anything called result for you to start from there to protest, you are already late for the make all their preparations and plans how to block you from your own tracks for you not to reach where they are. For you to reach where they are, this is the moment to get them in their various houses.
You see, the problem sounds like what you are saying out there. Sounds like some good strategy, but the problem is are francophones courageous enough to do so when Paul Biya CPDM comes with a bag of money? I mean, there are allegations out there. Let me put it this way. There are allegations out there. In fact, I'm hearing that Joshua OC uh, has sued John Ba Akuro. You can see the letter there, a statement put out by the SDF signed by Joshua OC, saying that John Ba Akuro defamed his person and his party and possibly altered the results of the elections. Now, this is the point. John Ba Akuro was proud to the elections, saying out there that Joshua Osi, Bello Buba, and Cabral Lebi and others had been giving money not to encourage protests after the election and not to contest the election results. And Joshua Osi again is out there threatening. He has already filed a lawsuit against John Ba Akuro in the state of Maryland. So the question lingers. When it comes to fighting for the result, the right result of this election, do you think Francophones have the bone to fight, considering that 1992 they didn't fight, 2018 they didn't fight? Do you see them fighting this time? Because this is one problem with La République du Cameroon. People come out today, they make noise, they protest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and before you know, they all retire. And that's a tactic that La République, of course, knows is implementing. They know people will get tired after 3 or 4 or 5 days of protest, and then what next? And the regime stays in power. How much do you think Francophones, La République citizens, this time are prepared to fight?
Maybe the suffering that they've been claiming they are into haven't touched them right deep into their marrow. For if it had really reached their marrow that they are suffering as a result of Pobia's making, then they will go out. Why did they have to go and vote to begin with? They were going to vote. They knew that the elections would be rigged. So it was useless for you to go and vote and turn around to you to go out protesting. If they were voting to say that if their votes are rigged, there is a declaration of war and they prepared for that war, then they have a reason. But thinking that they will go out to protest Like you rightfully ask, for how long will they protest? Is it for 1 week? If it's a matter of protesting for 1 week, over 2 days, over 1 month, then they are not yet ready. If it is to use civil disobedience to bring down Mr. Paul Biya's government, then they should be ready to go for at least 1 year with the entire country shut down, no transportation from Douala to Yaoundé, from Yaoundé to Douala, from Bafoussam to Yaoundé. Nothing moves from another region, as they call it, to another region for 1 year. All economic activities are shut down. No administrative unit should be allowed to operate. If that is how they're going to go, fine and good, it might help them. But if they are not ready for that, they should be ready for war to defend their votes. And by now, I hope, I think they could have been exploding some gas bottles in some various units in La Republic of Cameroon to say we are prepared to defend our votes. Failure to do so, I bet you, I've told them, if you are not ready for war, a dictator like Biya has never given up power like that during the ballot box. You can only get rid of a dictator like Biya with the barrel of the gun. Stop deceiving yourself that you want to vote him out. You give yourself, Larbusis will give themselves the next 1,000 years. They will not get rid of Biya. Let me go to Joshua Osei.
Reverend
Joshua
Gene,
Osei,
okay. Go on, go finish
Joshua
your thought.
Osei, Joshua Osei signed a document in Parliament when La Republique was petitioning the US government to repatriate Southern Cameroonians from the United States back to La Republique. Joshua Osei was the very first person to pen down his pen to support Biya to sign that document. The question now is, what was the motivation of Joshua Osei signing that document if it wasn't bribe for him to sign that document? Is it the first time that Joshua Osei has been bribed? How many times have Joshua Osei supported CPDM bad laws in La Republic's parliament? What has been his motivation to be doing all those things in parliament? But this is not the first time that he has been bribed. It's not the second time. It's almost the fourth time even. So he should stop that bull crap of his character being defamed. He has already defamed his character long ago.
Well, I get a point. Let's get the thought from Reverend Gene, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Comrade Chris. I want to start by thanking again and my extension of greetings to Honorable Sama Thomas and his perspective of history and the ability to recount some of the facts, how it has been. You know, when he made mention of Biya, the dictator Biya's statement in 1991, challenging the people, you know, emphatically saying, if you really want peace, be ready for war. It's a challenge for anyone at the moment in La Republique to really take those words into considerations. And come back to that questions. Are the Francophones in La Republique up to the challenge or up to the task of standing up to fight for their vote to be able to carry through? If you were to be compared to Ambazonians, the big answer is no. They have proven to be cowards all through these years. And because when you see their attitude of life in La Republique, it's quite frustrating. And if you were to check around the social media, you will hear some of them are crying out aloud, saying it is time to open the gates and to let Ambazonians come in and help us. Now, trying to give away, that means they are counting on Ambazonians. Now, but the truth is that when we cannot really just generalize this with conclusion about the Francophones in La Republique. We will take the case of Mali. We see a people who came to a frustration and a disgruntlement and said, no, we are not going to sit down or hold back and risk our lives, risk our families, and risk no future for ourselves and for our land. They stood out. We check in the case in Burkina Faso. they are still some of these Francophonie citizens, colonies who stood out and fight. I want to say, like I said, if you were to be compared to Ambazonia, the answer is no. But now, when we bring a comparison to the case of 1992 and 2018, to say that the exception could be the fact that there was no leader who was willing to lay down his life or pay the price for the cost of standing out to want to free the people. I remember, I can't remember the exact date, when after the elections of 1992, I follow Nick John vividly in Canal de La République du Cameroun there in Douala. He was called and he was interviewed in the studio. They say it is evident your impact everywhere during your campaign. You pull crowd more than anyone else. And the way people turn out for the elections shows you have truly win. And we want to know, are you going to sit down and fold your arms and wait for it to be given to you in the platter of gold? He said, well, I have to follow I can't put his words exactly, but one of the things he said was that he was not going to do anything on his own, but waiting and trusting that the powers that be and are in charge to announce will give the justice of truth for whoever has won. They say if he doesn't do, like it has happened through, and we discover Dictator Bier is willing to continue. Are you going to hold back? And the people are ready to fight for their victory. He said, yeah, it is very easy to declare war, but to stop war is very difficult. Those were his words to the Cameroonians in 1992. And that was watered down every zeal of anybody. He was telling the people that we have no leader. We have nobody who is willing to pay the price or carry us along the line. People can go as far as possible if there's a leader who have said enough is enough. We are not holding back till the last man standing, just like the Ambazonians have said. The last 9 years have been real heat, and the frustration to La Republique is something they have never thought about. Their 9 May is not even Tchiroma at the moment, but has been Ambazonia, whom they minimize and call 2 cubes of sugar, and they have not been able to resolve in the basin of water that they provided. Unfortunately, the 2 cubes absorb the water and have been absorbing all the rivers and whatever possibility of water giving on their way. It is the same thing in 2018 when Kamto won the election. When he came up, the people in La Republique were like, we are frustrated, we are helpless, we don't know who. When you think about people like the OC people, like the Cabral people, they are just jokers who sponsored by La Republique, who manipulate the atmosphere in the name of doing elections. I don't know where the consciences are. But when Kamto came up, when you follow through, I followed the manifesto of Kamto when before the elections, and there was nobody among the candidates that had anything to write home for as hope as a way forward for the people. But Kamto showed up with a good manifesto, and every way when he presented, and they stirred up and won the heart of the people, and they stood out for him. But was he there for them? I don't know. But the evidence of, we have gotten clear evidence from the gang members and those who are disgruntled and frustrated from La Republique, who stood out to recount how emergency meetings were held when they discovered SDF had taken over power in 1992, and how they had to cope and hold meetings and call other competitive party leaders to consent or to give in their consent to support that we are going to let La Republique and CBDM continue to rule the people. And then the negotiation had to call Nick John. Unfortunately, he's no more there, and call him and did the negotiation with him, and he sold over his life, sold over his zeal, sold over all that he has done for the cause of the people. This thing called SDF has not remained a letter. It's just a historical letter that something happened, and it's there. So when you see or see trying to do whatever he do there, check the result that comes out. Check his impact. Where does he find impact? Because there was no leader, and it went through like that until Unfortunately, the founder supposedly sold himself and had to even relocate to live in La Republique for all his life. When he discovered they had no place anymore. So come to after the election of 1992, you follow up a track record of what he had been doing. You discover that he was not really anywhere. He just stays aloof aside and shows up in one moment or the other, want to say one thing. I have heard one who spoke out here challenging Atanganji in social media, telling him, I am telling you, Atanganji, I live here in Europe. I'm a medical doctor. I think some of you have seen that video. I'm a medical doctor. I'm telling you that anything you have been daring and standing out to break through the bounds of your duties as a minister of defense. And I'm telling you, if anything goes wrong with the victory of the people in this election, we are going to fight you. And I'm telling you, anywhere you step your foot in Europe, you will see me. You will be shocked to see me in my colors, and you'll be shocked to know I'm a medical doctor. But I'm going to face you eyeball to eyeball. He said, I have decided to become an Ambazonia. I don't know what is the terms. I don't know whether he made you come to want to become an Ambazonia, but people know who we are. That's what I'm trying to talk about. And when you hear people speak like that with conviction, they speak from the sincerity of consciousness and wishing if they were. So, Ambazonians, be on your guard. Don't be manipulated. Be focused. We are being at war, and we are not out of war. And we will not run in to fight war for the neighboring country when we have not yet gotten war for ourselves. We need to get hold of our own victory home. And if need be, if they want our support, we will work that on the bilateral terms of solving negotiations as neighboring countries. And this is normal. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move. Let's talk about something else that we are observing. I mentioned earlier that Isa Tchiroma has formed a cabinet. Sama Thomas, let me start with you. You recall that Frundi also formed a shadow cabinet in the 90s after losing to La République du Cameroon. And of course, that went nowhere. Do you see this Isa Tchiroma's cabinet meaning anything to the people who are resisting him?
No, he can form anything that he calls whatever thing you want to call it, a cabinet or whatsoever, is gonna mean nothing. The only thing that's gonna be of help to Isa Tchiroma, if they are serious, is first he should target La Republique's military. That's the first thing Tchiroma has to do. Forming a cabinet means nothing. But if he goes ahead by appointing members of the military, by so doing, if he finds loyal members of that military that will stand with him, and tomorrow that military that will stand with him, if he says, you are general this, that is responsible with this, you are this, that is responsible with this, and tomorrow those guys stand up and say, we are behind Isa Tchiroma. That is when Tchiroma can now say, okay, because I've gotten this number of soldiers that are behind me, I can now come up with that cabinet because there is a force to back that cabinet. But if you constitute a shadow cabinet, as I call it, without the strength, without the military to back that shadow cabinet, you are just a joke. You go nowhere. But if you penetrate the military and separate that military, and that military is separated as you separate it, and there are daggers drawn, then you've succeeded. Clement Atangana will not even pass to declare to read that bull crap whenever he say he's going to. They will carry him from the stretcher. I don't know from wherever he is. Nobody would dare to bring an ambulance to carry Clement Atangana to the court to go and read anything there. Because they know they will stop that ambulance on the way and burn it down with Clement Atangana inside. But if he fails to do that, to separate La Republic's military as of now, he must not waste his time with the shadow cabinet. I'm sorry.
Reverend Genie.
Thank you, Honorable Thomas, for that input. It leveraged me in my thought, and my answer to that question, would Tchiroma's cabinet, shadow cabinet, mean anything in the moment like this? The answer to me, supporting the views of Honorable Thomas, is yes, and also it is no. I very much support what he said. If Tchiroma in this cabinet formation has been able to consider those who have the weaponry, those in the military, to the best of my consciousness, for quite a number of time, when Dictator B discovered that before he brought Tchiroma into the game of his government, sometimes in the past, the speech that Tchiroma put forth that shook him and had to be bought over to work with him for some years, which was like kind of a way of compensating Tchiroma and his own people of his northern regions. And ever since then, what La Republic used to have as a regional equivalence, equilibrium, was never really there. Was never really there. And for many, many years, through that philosophy of regional equilibrium, which is trying to give people from different regions equal opportunity into the national schools, national professional training centers, and to be empowered and to be able to get their way into the government. La Republique had unusually and reasonably favored these two and a half regions, you know, and I think even in MIA, which is their military training, national military training school, majority of these guys ever come from there. So along the years, I don't know, I cannot remember how many years that has been, but along maybe the last 20 years, he had done everything. One of the way Beer did was kind of trying to bring them into the
All right,
system or give.
Reverend Jenny, you hold on there for a second.